Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on all of the recent releases from NYX. NYX just all of a sudden released a bunch of new products, and I snatched up a good amount of them so I could test them out and show them to you guys, and I'm wearing most of them now. So I'm going to be showing you guys a demo as well as walking you through my thoughts on all of the products. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first product. So the first new release from NYX is this Build 'em Up Powder Brow Filler. And for those of you that saw my first impression video where I tried the Maybelline brow powder, you guys know that that did not work out so well for me. It deposited way too much product, so I was really nervous about this one and that it was going to be the same type of situation. This one is actually so much better, and I actually really like it because first of all, it didn't apply too much product at all, and it has a very fine tip, so you can kind of do those brow-like strokes with the fine tip and then use the flat edge or flatten it against your brow to kind of fill in the larger areas. So I actually really enjoyed this, and the color of this is amazing. I got the shade Ash Brown, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an ashy brown. So for those of you with a brow color similar to mine, I definitely recommend this shape, and I overall really recommend this product. All right, next up we have this NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt palette, and I was really excited when I saw this because the main contouring palette you can get from NYX that has really good quality contour and highlighting products is $25, and it comes with a lot of different shades. But this one, you can buy the one that matches your skin tone. I got the shade Fair, so this is the lightest option. You just get the amount of products you need for your skin tone, and it's a lot more affordable than their big professional contour palette. And these powders, these two, the contour and the highlight powder, are so silky smooth to the touch. They applied like a dream. They blended out super easily, and I feel like this contour shade is absolutely perfect. And the highlight shade, I didn't think I was gonna like because I usually like more of a yellowy highlight, but this worked out really well. The only thing I didn't love about this palette was this highlighter. I'm gonna give it another chance because it was the first time I used it. There could be kind of that first layer of film, but when I first applied this highlight to my cheeks, it looked like I just sprinkled glitter on my cheeks. It wasn't that kind of smooth, wet looking highlight. It just looked like an inconsistent splatter of glitter, and I was not a fan. So I'm hoping as I wear this down a little bit more, it'll become softer and smoother. But at least for my first impression, I did not like this highlighter, though I really did like these two, and the texture of them and the whole layout of this reminds me a lot of the Wet n Wild contouring palettes just like this, and I absolutely love those. So overall, I would recommend this, but keep in mind the highlighter isn't that great. So after being unsuccessful with that highlighter, I went in with this palette. This is the NYX Contour Intuitive palette. It's the Eye and Face Sculpting palette. And I used this highlighter, this darker highlighter right here, and these highlighters on the other hand, right off the bat, first impression, were silky smooth to the touch, super pigmented and beautiful on the face. So this formula for sure feels different to me than the formula in that contour palette. So I really like the two highlighters they included in here, as well as the blush, pigmented but not too pigmented. And then these eyeshadows were nice. They feel kind of powdery to the touch, and there was definitely some fallout, but overall they were extremely pigmented and easy to apply. My only issue with this palette is the concept of it, the layout of it. It's the Eye and Face Sculpting palette, and I really don't feel like it's that cohesive of a palette because first of all, you have two highlighters. I would prefer to see a highlighter and a contour color. So you've got two highlighters and a blush, which to me doesn't make sense for a sculpting kit. You need some sort of a contour option. And then it also says it's an eye sculpting kit, but you have 5 shimmer shades and only 1 matte shade, which is this kind of purpley tone. So there's only 1 shade to really sculpt the eyes. When I think of sculpting the eyes, I think of contouring your eye and creating the shadow through the crease to make your eye pop a little bit more. And the only option you have for that is this 1 matte shade. So even though I like all of the products in here individually, as a palette, it doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like you need a contour shade as well as more matte shades. This one, on the other hand, is fantastic. This is the NYX Ultimate Multi-Finish Shadow Palette, and I can already tell I'm going to love this palette and use it constantly because this is what I'm talking about when I say a cohesive palette. Each column in here is a different color family with different finishes. So this first row right here is matte shades, the second row is shimmer shades, and this last row is almost like foiled eyeshadows. And I used this one on my lid, and it reminded me of the Wet n Wild loose pigments from their summer collection, and I love those because they create that duochrome look, and it looks like you're wearing glitter on your lid, but you're not, and you don't need a glitter glue. This is even better because it's just in the form of an eyeshadow, and they are so pigmented, so soft. These are a lot less powdery than the shadows in that last palette I was talking about, and again, so cohesive. I see so many different looks I'm going to create with this, and I'm going to go ahead and predict that this is going to become one of my new favorite eyeshadow palettes. Okay, this next product is the NYX A Wavy Glow Illuminating Powder, and the concept of this is that you've got a bunch of different shades in here, and you can either use them individually or mix them all together. I mixed them all together and applied as blush just because I wanted to see what it looked like, but I also went ahead and swatched each shade individually, and I'm really impressed by this. I feel like instead of treating it like 4 different areas, I'll probably use this side as a highlight and this side as a blush. This would be kind of a deep bronzy glowy blush, and then this would be a beautiful kind of champagne-y highlight. And this formula feels so soft to the touch, so blendable, so beautiful. I am really impressed by this. And I think if you're on a serious budget and you want one affordable product out of all of these new releases, this is that product, because you've got a blush in here. You could use this by itself as just a blush. You've got highlighters in here, and you could use any of these shades, especially these shimmer shades, as a beautiful eyeshadow on the lid. So in terms of versatility for the price tag, I think this is the product that wins out of all of their new releases. Okay, next up is this NYX Super Cliquey Matte Lipstick. So I will let you guys know down in the description box how this wears throughout the day, but first impression, this applies beautifully onto the lips. The formula is incredible, the color is beautiful, but I don't like the packaging. The Cliquey applicator is creative, it's unique, but you have to click it like 100 times to get it to come up at all. And I just personally found that frustrating, and I wasn't a big fan of the way you get the product out of the applicator. And then in terms of the applicator itself, it's in like a teardrop shape. And I liked it at first because it really helps you outline your Cupid's bow easily. But I had trouble when I was doing my bottom lip, and I found myself wishing it was more of a doe foot applicator where I could use it as a lip liner, because it felt really awkward to try and use this bottom tip on my lower lip for some reason. I was just not a fan of the applicator, the whole Cliquey concept, but in terms of the formula and the product that's inside, so far I really like it. But again, I'll let you guys know down in the comments below how it actually wears throughout the day. Oh, and in case any of you guys were curious, I got this matte lip color in the shade Empowered. And then last but not least, this NYX Tease is full color lip oil, and I got mine in the shade I Woke Up Like This. These all had really cute names, and this packaging looks identical to their lip lingeries, and the actual doe foot applicator is the same. It's the kind of more flat shaped doe foot applicator, and I definitely like the packaging and the applicator on this one better than that last one. And right when I was first applying it, I was really impressed. The level of pigmentation for a lip oil was out of this world. It felt like silk on my lips. It made them feel immediately soft, but it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes and this was gone. Off of my lips, nowhere to be found. And even though I think the product is great, right when I first applied it, the staying power of this makes applying it kind of a wash, because you're gonna be reapplying this constantly throughout the day if you actually want the pigment to stay. So unfortunately, I would not recommend this one simply because the staying power is just not there. So that is gonna be it for this video. I really hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you haven't already. It lets me know that what I'm doing here is working and you guys are enjoying it. So please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.